Hey, listen, I'm here with Mark Duclos, and my name's Kurt Jem, and I'm Director of Business Development with Sentry Commercial. And I'm here with Mark. Mark, say hi.
Good morning. Hello.
And this is Mark Duclos. Mark's the president of our company, Sentry Commercial, and Mark is also the global president of SIOR across the country and internationally. So he can touch on that a little bit in a couple of minutes. So what we were thinking about as we sort of head back into what we call the new norm was there a way as a company and as individuals, was there a way that we could start to talk about the things that we're facing in the commercial real estate industry, and then also bring that to allied professionals, other people that work in and around the commercial real estate industry, and see if we couldn't figure out with them kind of how they were facing things and what their landscape looked like. So, so this is the first of a series, and hoping to make it sort of entertaining, informative, and make it value add. So we're going to do this twice a week, and we'll put the schedule out on LinkedIn and social media so everybody can see it. And we're looking forward to inviting guests. So if you have an interest in joining us for something like this, let us know. And this is our first one, so be kind. And here we are. So we're obviously facing a time that's unique to our world, and we hear a lot about the new norm. And so Mark is getting queried a lot in his role at SIOR across the country from real estate companies, real estate professionals, and industry insiders. And so so this is where we're at, Mark. So the new norm. So the new norm in commercial real estate brokerage. What are you seeing, and what does that mean to you?
So yeah, and we've talked about this a little bit, and I've been on some calls with others, and so people kind of know my opinion on this, which I truly believe the new norm in commercial real estate brokerage is the old norm, right? So there's no question our clients have changed a little bit. Obviously, some of our clients are doing not so great, and a lot of our clients are still doing okay or doing well. It depends on what industry you're in. So from that standpoint, that is a little bit of the new norm, kind of the structure of our clients, what they need. We're dealing with some things that our clients never needed before, and so we need to be able to shift with that. But substantially, I think the new norm in brokerage is the old norm. It's just that we're required to execute it. So it's what we call best practices. So we used to be able to let things slide. If you did kind of like 80% of what you were doing, then you were doing all right. We had plenty of warnings from the from the technology world that said, listen, we're way behind times and we need to get up to speed. And some of us did, and some of us did not. We're happy that we did substantially, but we still had stuff that we needed to do. So the new norm is you can't let things slide like you did before, whether with your clients or building your tech stack or your deliverables. You need to be on top of your game. So the new norm is execute your damn plan.
Execute the plan. That sounds like a plan. So listen, we've had I think both I've sort of looked at it as an opportunity, as you shift, as things change in our environment, and we went into quote unquote stay at home, work at home environment, isolation. It has challenged, I think, many to figure out what do they do to continue to be productive, and you and I have reflected on this over the last many weeks, is drilling down and looking at some of those things that were further down on the to-do list. We considered them priorities, but in the goings on of the daily routine, we didn't necessarily have an opportunity to get to them. And kind of what I'm referring to is, for us, the shift allowed us to pivot and really drill down on our technology and what we call our technology stack. So, between YouTube, our CRM, our email lists, et cetera. Tell me what your thoughts are on that, and where you see our tech stack going, and where it is, and how we're kind of using that to accelerate our coming out of the crisis here.
Right. So companies, I think, Kurt, that had a tech stack or at least had a technological foundation to them were a lot more prepared to handle this crisis. I think I'm not sure how companies who didn't have a technology stack or a technology platform to them could have actually operated in these last 75 to 90 days, depending on how you're counting the start of the crisis. So I kind of use it. I use the term tools in the toolbox, right? So the tools in the toolbox are everything that a broker has for tools that he or she can use when they're trying to service their clients or executing their brokerage plan. And a lot of those tools that you needed to use in the toolbox during the crisis were technology, was all technology, right? You didn't have the ability to shake your client's hand or to sit face to face. And frankly, moving into the future, into certainly the short-term future, you still aren't going to have that ability. So what do you have for the tools in the toolbox? And oh, by the way, are you using the tools? So when we looked at our technology stack, it's substantially CoStar, LoopNet. We use Rethink for our CRM and for our data. We use our Outlook 365. We use BuildOut. We use Commission Track. Right? That's our tech stack. We drilled in further to those, and we started to pull out more tools within that tech stack. For instance, LoopNet. LoopNet has a whole bunch of names in it for companies that have gone into your property and taken a look at it online. We've drilled into those users and actually flushed out some requirements from that. So it's using the tools that you have, and then it's adding some more tools to your toolbox. So as you know, we added virtual tours. That was a big addition. It's one of those that you talked about. Hey, listen, we talked about doing virtual tours forever. And of course, now the COVID crisis shows up and we're like, oh my goodness, we probably should have done that before, right? And so
Exactly.
That's where you're trying to clean up your game. You mentioned the YouTube videos and our YouTube library. It's significant now. It's increasing, and those kind of things that we're able to add to our tech stack, the things that we're able to add to our toolbox, and then the existing tools, we're saying use them all, and we did, and we needed to use them all. And I think the brokers that have really excelled during this crisis have used all the tools of the toolbox and actually added more.
That's great. Yeah, I think for me, knowledge is power, and really use of knowledge is power. So over the last 90 days, there's been a great opportunity for us to dive deep on some of these technologies and really come out of the gates fast and furious. And I think the YouTube, the video, the live streaming, and just how we connect with our customers and our clients is key. So so we opened up our office technically, in a non-virtual world. We opened up our physical office space. What, last week was it? I think it's been about a week.
May 20th. Yep, but there's almost 2 weeks now.
Yeah, so 2 weeks. And so from the standpoint of the office, what do you think the office looks like? What's the new office norm, and how are we bridging both the physical space idea along with our company culture? How are we helping our people to thrive in a time that it's very disruptive in our economy and our world? So what do you see our plan to be from that perspective?
Yeah, listen, as you know, we're dealing. We are like the poster child in that question, because we've got a lease that expires towards the end of this year, and so we're dealing with that issue very much head on. And we haven't really decided what that looks like. We are a company that's used to working remotely because we've had that technology to be able to work outside the office since we started in 1991. So from that standpoint, we don't have a challenge there. We did about 10 years ago. We went to a no office environment. Frankly, I don't know what to be the way. It might be because of the way I executed it or other reasons, but it was a disaster. So we decided to come back into the office and not go virtual. And so that has been successful because we had lost our culture 10 years ago when we did that 100% virtual. Right now, we're looking at it, we're saying, listen, it's going to be a combination of both. And I do think this translates into regular corporate America and non-real estate brokerage firms. But right now, we're saying, listen, we're going to have brokers and service people that are going to work remotely from their homes on occasion, and we're going to end up working within the office as well. I think we're leaning towards, believe it or not, more of an open environment. meaning what they're saying, the workstation kind of environment versus private offices. We've always had a blend of private offices and open bullpen. We think we're going to need to lease some additional space. So we're going to have to go larger than the space we've got right now in order to accommodate with best practices and spacing and social distancing and all that. So I see us looking hard. I see us falling into we're still going to have a physical office. The office is going to be larger. There's going to be more meeting environments in the open area versus closed conference rooms and those kind of things. So we're going to facilitate both the brokers that want to work in the office and the other brokers that want to work outside the office, as well as create kind of community environments where we're going to be able to accommodate people even outside of our company to be able to come in and create kind of a commercial real estate community, but again, with a ton of open spacing. So it's going to be an experiential office. And I think that's a big one. If you're just coming in to do your work and you're not having an experience, then guess what? You probably don't need the office. So we have to work hard at building that commercial real estate community and working hard at developing an experience and a reason for people to come into our office.
Yeah, I think that's well said. I think that's a great position, that we find ourselves in sort of adapting to, what the new norm looks like. So listen, in the interest of time, we're excited about this, and this is evolving. So, feedback is great. So anybody taking a look at this, if you've got feedback or ideas as to how we can enhance, this series and, make it better. And if you're, again, interested in joining us on this, like I said to Mark, it's kind of where we're going, as a company, and certainly where the world is in terms of social media, et cetera. So we're excited about it, and I appreciate Mark's input. And obviously, you'll see more of Mark and myself. So from that standpoint, thank you, Mark, and we look forward to next week's session.
Absolutely. Thank you, Kurt. Have a great day. Appreciate it.
Soon. Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.